Hi folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. Some of you may have grown up like me where you were taught to hunt and where you enjoyed perhaps target shooting. And I have been one who has loved my .22 rifles over the years. But I have before me a very old, it's a Ruger 1022, one of the most popular rifles since its introduction in the 1960s. It's not my favorite rifle for one basic reason. The doggone thing is short in terms of its stock. So when I pull it up, I'll just show you here. When I pull it up, it's really close to me. I would like the stock to be a little longer, but that's not what we're going to address. I'm just telling you why it's not my favorite. It is one of the most accurate .22 rifles on the market. The ease of reloading with their rotary magazines just drops right out the bottom, pop one out, pop one in. It's amazing. But let me get a paper towel here. I've been doing a little prep work beforehand. If you will see here, I have a pretty substantial double dent right in the stock. And my prep work that I have done so far is I've got a bucket of water here, and I've been putting water directly into this indentation. I'm going to tell you, this is one of the worst dents you could have. But what we want to try to do today is to, using the tools that you'd have around the house, to see if we can, if not completely remove this dent, if we can lessen the dent. So in preparation for this, not only have I tried to get some moisture into the grooves of this wood, the tools that we have to do this is a wash rag. I have a wet wash rag here. I've got a bucket of water so I can repeatedly wet it. And the other thing we have is the standard household iron. This is just a travel iron, but I have it set on its highest heat setting. And the theory behind this is very simple. You take a wet rag. It should not be running out the rag. And this rag is still good and wet. I'm not going to re-wet it. And you simply try to superheat the dents. Now what you're doing, of course, you're trying to inject steam. Oh, ouch. Ooh, that's hot. Trying to inject steam directly into that dented wood. And the steam, this thing is not designed to hold these weapons at this particular angle. The steam swells the wood. Can I get that to hold? Maybe that'll do better. So I just keep moving my rag around. Let me re-wet it here. I have a little paint bucket off to the side that I often use for water. And I put I'm doing a double layer, but I'm going to go to a single layer. You've got to be careful how long you do this, because you don't want to singe your wood. You don't want to scorch your finish. You know, camera work is interesting because it's hard to see what you can see and what you can't see. But I'm doing this in real time, and I'm actually using the steam feature on here to inject a little extra steam. This doesn't have enough steam. Some irons will actually squirt out a stream of steam. Now, again, camera perspective can be misleading. Let me dry this off a little bit. I will tell you up front, this does not work when the fibers of the wood are cut. And I have some fiber cutting here, but I want you to see, I'm going to use a close-up camera. That is not as deep as it was. It is better And there's no real trick here. We're simply injecting steam into this wood. So I'm going to keep my towel wet. I'm going to make a second video with this gun when I'm finished, having to do with the stock and keeping the stock shiny. I really did a long one there. I've got some other, I've got some other indentations. I'll call them that more than this is actual damage. But this is the first time I've ever done this, and frankly, I'm not surprised because I've seen others that have done this, and that's where I got the idea. But I'm surprised at the ease with which this repair takes place. So once more, just re-wetting my towel here. And I'm going to, I knew that this process, it's not an instant process. You can't just pop an iron on it for 8 or 10 seconds and you're done. It takes repeated application. But I am watching. Now, I will tell you, be very careful about the edge of your iron touching other areas. Oh, wow, that really is bringing the wood fiber back up to a flatter surface. And I'll show you that, but I'm just going to keep doing it here. You do want, each time you do this, you want to be seeing steam. You don't want to allow your towel to become dry enough. Boy, that is really aggravating me, but I don't know how I can, I guess I could, I'm using my scope to kind of keep it from turning here. Wow. I still see the cut fibers and I still see the discoloration, but that was actually, I don't know, an 1/8 of an inch or more deep when I started. And while it is not flush, it's almost flush. So I've got so much stuff hanging off the side of my box here, I've got to be careful of my cord. What I'm going to do when I feel like I've accomplished about as much as I can on this one, and we're getting there, I'm going to go over some of the lighter indentations, the just little kind of daily marks. Let me do one here. I didn't prep these places. Ow, boy, that was hot. And I'm not as impressed with that as I am here. I do realize one of the reasons that this one is actually giving me better results. Two of the reasons. Number one, I prepped it by letting some fluid soak into it. And number two, because it actually cut the fibers, it had ruptured the seal of the finish of the rifle. But, you know, if I wanted to, now this is an old gun, and I'm not interested in disassembling the unit, sanding the whole thing, although I could. and redoing the whole stock. But, and there again, there was a vertical indentation there that is now almost flat. So I'm to the place now where if I were into that kind of woodworking, I could clean that up. So you've got there a simple technique. Let me see what else I've got here. This side of the weapon is strangely much freer of damage. Oh, there is another place I want to do. All right, if there seems to be a bit of discontinuity between where we are now and where I was a minute ago, my air compressor just cut on, so I'll cut that out of the final video, but I had to stop for a moment. On the bottom of the rifle here, let me show it to you again. Right here, and I'll kind of rotate. There is some damage where it's just, I don't know if it was from a gun rack or whether it banged into it. I'm not the original owner of this rifle, but I've had it for a long, long time. And it came to me with a fair bit of damage. I try to take care of these kind of things. I enjoy them. I hope to be able to pass them on. Yes, that really made a difference there. Some of this piece here almost looked like the finish itself had bubbled up. I'm dripping water here. But it brought that back up to a much flusher appearance. And you saw me do it. This is, I've spent less than 30 seconds of application time. And I'm just looking over the gun here. That, I think, for my purposes today, is going to, let me show you, the discoloration is still there. However, it is much more flush. There is, I can feel it, it's actually raised up. So whenever this happened, I'm assuming that some moisture may have gotten under the finish itself, but that's going to be another process I'm going to talk to you about on the next video. So I am the Bald Guy today, and offering you just a nice, easy way to clean up some of the places on your weapons. You could fill that in and then sand it if you wanted to refinish it, but it has brought the gun back to a flush feel on these places. And what we have here is more of a problem with the finish than it is anything else. And of course, if you're into wood finishing, all you need to do is to take the stock, disassemble the weapon, take the stock off, and you can refinish the stock. But in my next video, I'm actually going to talk about things you can do to help to maintain and to preserve your stock. So I hope you'll meet us for the next video. Leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, and share these with others, and we'll see you on the next video. I am the Bald Guy. Have a good day.